Welcome back. Chinese dictator Xi Jinping just back from what he is calling a milestone meeting with Saudi Prince Mohammed bin Salman after telling Arab leaders on Friday that he wants to buy oil and gas with the Chinese yuan instead of the U.S. dollar, furthering his goal to internationalize the Chinese currency and replace the dollar as the reserve currency of the world. This after President Biden engineered a prisoner swap with Russia this week, releasing WNBA superstar Brittany Griner in exchange for Victor Bout, sending the man known as the Merchant of Death back to Vladimir Putin in the middle of the war on Ukraine. The swap has been widely criticized because it did not include Marine veteran Paul Whelan, who Russia has kept locked up for the last 4 years on claims of espionage. Joining me right now to address all of that is retired four-star General Jack Keane. He is the chairman of the Institute for the Study of War and a Fox News senior strategic analyst. General, it's great to see you this morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, great being here, Maria.
I want to zero in on this meeting that Xi Jinping had with Arab leaders. Tell me the significance of this meeting and the significance of him now talking more about buying oil and gas from the Saudis with the Chinese yuan.
Yeah, well, first of all, President Xi was always going to have a relationship with Saudi Arabia and the Middle East. He's completely dependent on Persian Gulf oil, 62%. And he's the world's largest importer of oil writ large. But what is actually happening here, because the Biden administration's missteps with Saudi Arabia and the Arabs in general and going immediately to appease Iran at the beginning of the administration, the Chinese clearly recognize that there's a vacuum here and they want to fill it. And the Arabs also recognize that they're not sure the United States is going to be there for them as they have been in the past. This is a relationship that goes all the way back to Franklin Delano Roosevelt at the end of World War II. And we've always had issues with Arabs' human rights and the differences with the United States, but our national security took precedence. What we're seeing here, Maria, President Xi met with the regional leaders of the entire Middle East and North Africa, some 20-something nations. This is a slight paradigm shift that's beginning to take place here, and it has strategic significance that a lot of the media is missing. It wasn't just a meeting with Mohammed bin Salman from Saudi Arabia. He hosted this regional summit, something similar that President Trump did in 2017 when he met with the regional leaders being hosted by Mohammed bin Salman. So we've come a long way since July of 2017 because this relationship between the United States and the Arab world is tarnished. I have one recommendation here for the administration. Work with the incoming Prime Minister of Israel, Prime Minister Netanyahu, who wants to strengthen and expand the Abraham Accords. That means relationship with Arabs and Israelis. Work with him and have him help you renew the relationship with the Arabs.
Yeah. Yeah, we were all wondering if, in fact, the Saudis would join the Abraham Accords. One thing that really struck me, General, was the fact that I see that the Saudis have agreed to contracts with Huawei. They're going to put to work Huawei telecom equipment in various places throughout Saudi Arabia. Does that mean that the Chinese Communist Party is now spying on the Saudis?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Probably already have been, as much as they're penetrating the United States civil society in a way that no other country ever has. China is the most prolific at this worldwide, and Saudis made, I think, a strategic mistake there. They did it to accommodate the Chinese in terms of the relationship, obviously.
Wow. All right. We want to talk about the NDAA and the money being allocated for the military. We'll take a short break and come back with that. I'm talking with retired four-star General Jack Keane this morning. A lot to get to in foreign policy. Stay with us. Welcome back, and I am back with retired four-star General Jack Keane. General, I want to ask you about the news of the day. A Libyan man accused of being involved in making that bomb that destroyed Pan Am Flight 103 over the town of Lockerbie is now behind bars in U.S. custody. Your thoughts?
Tremendous commendation to our intelligence services and the FBI for their persistence. I mean, this is over 3 decades in the hunt for this guy, and we finally got him. And enormous credit to do something like that. And it's got to be a huge relief also for the families. I mean, the suffering that they've gone through all of these years and not having anybody truly held accountable for this horrific act that was committed against their family members and loved ones. Finally, we have an answer for that despicable act.
General, what about overall readiness in our military? We just heard from Marsha Blackburn as the Congress right now is working on the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act. How would you assess the money being earmarked for the Defense Department and our military?
Well, first of all, we got to give credit in the House. Bipartisan support in the House did something that's pretty unusual, and that is increase the president's budget by $45 billion. And obviously, the majority in the House are the Democrats, and that wouldn't get done without their support. So credit to the Democrats and Republicans in doing that, and shame on the president's administration for the rhetoric on China. This is our pacing challenge. This is our #1 threat. But the budget doesn't reflect it. And this budget even is limited. There's a lot of good things in this budget, to be sure, Maria. One of the things, it's 8% over FY22 budget. But the problem is that's about the size of inflation. So this is a flat budget. There's no real growth in this budget, despite the goodness that's in it. What we need to really do is buckle down and see the threat for what it is. It is danger to us in the Indo-Pacific region, where China has more ships, more airplanes, more offensive and defensive missiles than we do. The only advantage we have is in submarines. So we are outgunned and outmanned, and we have to move with a sense of urgency and have a budget that reflects the danger here. Simply what we're trying to achieve is make certain that President Xi and his military, when they look at the U.S. and our allies in the region, that they do not want to enter into confrontation over Taiwan because they know we would impose significant cost on them. We don't want them to look at us, Maria, and see that they have the military advantage, and that's an incentive for them to take action. And that is where we are right now. It's got to get fixed. And this budget is a step in the right direction, but so much more needs to be done.
Really, really dangerous to have a flatlining of defense spending. Real quick on Mr. Whalen, why was he left behind, a Marine left behind in this prisoner swap?
Yeah, well, these are frustrating, to be sure. You got mixed emotions, certainly. We all feel good about Brittany Griner being out. We don't like the idea of who we had to give up to do that. These swaps are awful. They're always usually one-sided, to be sure. But with Whalen, what's happening is the Russians want a guy who's an FSB colonel, who's a spy in Germany. They want him out.
I see.
And that hasn't been able to get worked out yet.
General, thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.